This is one of my favourite views of the garden, which is looking at the front garden from the front door. I like this dahlia here. I am thinking of dividing it so it spans this whole area next season. I'm moving that hebe this way. But I'm not sure, does the hebe, the white, give a bit of relief from the boldness of that dahlia? Something I'm thinking about anyway. I'm also thinking about putting some anemone in that place of the hebe, because my anemone has done exceptionally well this season. So getting rid of the tea tree, and there's the stump, was a good idea. And I think the irrigation has really helped the anemone this season. And I'm so impressed with the cleome, which I've never grown before. And I'm hoping that seed spreads throughout this entire garden. So today will mark the autumn equinox, being the 21st of March, the autumn equinox in Australia and the Southern Hemisphere. So it's the spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere. And we will be reaching a maximum temperature of 26 today, with a minimum of 11. So the mornings are getting cooler, that's for sure. I've got two gora here, pink gora, which are hidden because they're a lot shorter than the plants at the front. So I'm going to move them to a couple of other beds, I think. As usual in autumn, we have absolutely beautiful days, and today is going to be another one. So the sun is rising at 7:27 and it's setting at 7:35 p.m. So we are coming to the end of our daylight savings period. Still another couple of weeks before daylight savings ends. This comfrey is getting so big, and I believe I'm about to pull all those leaves to use as mulch in various other beds. So that's what it's really good for. But for the first time, it has flowered all season since spring, and the flowers are quite pretty. This one's pink. And the pollinators really like it too, so it's a dynamic lifter. The roots bring up nutrients deep down and place those nutrients in the leaves, so it's very good to use as a mulch. I'm pleased with my path because the creeping thyme is liking this autumn weather, and it's finally starting to creep. I grew it as a seed. I sowed the seed in seed trays, but it didn't really do very well until I planted it. So obviously my plan with this is that it grows in between the stepping stones here, so that I don't have to do so much weeding. Alright, this is the anemone, which, it's never looked this good. So toying with the idea of putting another anemone there where that hebe is. This is my Helianthus angustifolius, which is getting very, very tall. It's taller than me. The flowers are coming. We have one flower and hundreds of flower buds. Very late, so it has completely blocked my boulders, which act as a path through this area. So whether I keep it there or move it, I'm not sure. Something else to think about for next season. Smoke bush hasn't started turning yet for autumn, but when it does, it will be spectacular. The hollyhocks are livening up too since the beginning of autumn. I really do need to cut out that very tall, dried up flower stalk from the hollyhock. It's throwing up more stalks here. As I've said before, I've got some rogue pomegranate, which I will be moving very soon, next weekend I think. The weather will go quite cool next weekend, so it'll be a good time to transplant. I'll also transplant the echinacea and put that hebe here. I need to get rid of these hollyhocks because, it's not where they're meant to be. I think some of my snapdragons may be spent, so maybe they've come to the end of their life cycle, and I might just see some rogue snapdragons sprouting around the place and pop them in here, I think. I'm a little bit disappointed how a few of my Sunday phrase hydrangeas have browned off quite a bit. I think from the stretch of 40 plus degree days we had, but I'm hoping that they will establish a little bit more, and also now that I've got good irrigation, that they will be able to tolerate that. If not, I will have to move them and put something else there. This rose does quite well, but I'm never happy with the shape of it. Weeds that need to be pulled. The wisteria is more under control but needs constant pruning to keep it that way. I am pleased with these little dahlia which have started to establish themselves here, and as I've said before, I really want this to be very much a dahlia bed. So I'm going to, as you can see, a lot of these sprouts here are cornflowers, so I might get rid of those and maybe even put some more dahlia in. Whether I do that now or in spring, I'm not sure. Yeah, so these dahlia, 1, 2, 3, 4, they did get a little bit heat affected because I planted them at the end of summer, but they're really springing back now. But maybe I need to put another one here and maybe here. I'm hoping they get at least 3 times that height. And I do have more space here to put some things, whether I want to fill that more with pestamon or dahlia, but that's more areas for me to plant things. The pestamon are managing this difficult spot quite well. Beautiful day, as I was saying, no clouds at all. Okay, the cosmos are still waiting for their big boom, or bloom I should say. This Leonurus, lion's ear, is very striking at this time of year. Our climbing roses really come back so strong after our hard prune in summer, and I need to cut off some of those lower leaves there. It's quite pretty how the sun shines through those anemone. I need to sprinkle all these breadseed poppies in the garden soon so that I get more next spring. This is doing really well. I keep forgetting what it's called. I think it's a lemon and lime something or other. Mirror bush, I think I've heard it called before. But despite kind of being shaded in this position, I think it does receive a lot of sun, midday sun, but it is growing and putting on a lot of height. So when everything gets frost affected, I think this remains evergreen, and it will provide some really good interest in winter. This is my other helianthus, which is called Loddon Gold, and it has like a double flower, but it is looking a bit more spent now. I think I might do a little bit more deadheading, and that might improve things. Autumn joy sedums, which are blooming everywhere and looking absolutely amazing at the moment. They are very much worth the wait. The straw flowers just perform all summer and now into autumn, but of course I will be just having them in my new meadow next season, I think. I'd like to have this space filled more with just zinnias, I think, next season, and cleome. The black and bloom salvias provide a nice contrast with their blue flowers. I'm not sure if I'll keep these canna. I grew them from seed, and they are the natural canna, so they're not hybridized at all, and as a result their flower is quite small and nowhere near as impressive as the hybridized cannas. And while the leaf does provide a nice texture and textural contrast to everything, and I like the colour, I'm not sure that I will keep them there. You may be able to hear the kookaburras in the background. So out this gate, I have been making a border here where another garden bed will go. I think that might be a winter project. And of course I have planted my silver birches. Everything's really greened up because we had another downpour of rain. Very unusual for this time of year. Often we get into April and everything is still brown, but everything's really greened up here. So we're still in March and things are green. my silver birches are planted and doing well, and this will be another bed that I'll be working on very soon. There's some rogue cosmos in there. And I also have this bed to work on, and it will be another blank canvas for me to get some plants. I do know I want a golden smoke bush there to contrast this lovely purple smoke bush. I think that would look really stunning, but I cannot find a golden smoke bush at the moment, so I have to be patient and wait. This is where my meadow will go, which I'll be doing probably in about 2 weeks' time. I'll hire a tiller and till a circle, and then scatter all the seed I've collected with cornflowers, straw flower, corn cockle, poppies, and maybe a few other things as well. I still haven't pruned this lavender, and I think I'm going to do that this weekend. Just prune it back. Might get some more flowers in before the winter. I've got a bad habit of pruning my flowers at the wrong time, my lavender, sorry, at the wrong time. I'm still loving this gravel, and I have applied some weed killer to it, and I'll apply a bit more just to keep those weeds at bay. Here's my hybridized canna flowers, and they're so much more striking than the natural canna that I have. So even the leaves are just amazing to look at. Their colour and the texture. Where this black and bloom salvia is, I'm thinking of taking that out, transplanting it maybe a bit further back, and putting a rose there. So it'll be, right next to this gate, so we'll walk past it and be able to smell the perfume. That's the theory. Next season I won't plant. That's a rubber plant in that pot. And I like the look of it, but I think I might actually put a canna in there to have more of a striking effect next season. I've been pruning this David Austin climbing rose this morning. And I need to still get rid of these weeds here. The black and bloom salvias really like it up here. So this is the new area, which I did show last video, but I've got some new plantings into it now. This is a type of succulent, and I brought the tag with me because I have never heard of it before or seen it. It's called a Crassula purple dragon, and it's perfect for rockery. So this is a unirrigated bed that will be mostly succulents. So I planted one there and one at the other corner just past that agapantha. And on that side, that will be irrigated. It's partially irrigated now. I just need to do another hose coming the other way. There's the crabapple. Still relatively new. But I also planted in yesterday this Weigelia, one here and one a bit further on. And I think it's going to be a bit experimental to see how it survives that spot. Here's the other one. So hopefully that will be okay. So I've got some poles around, some bamboo sticks to mark where I want things. So here I'm going to plant, I think, a gora there, because goras can really tolerate dry. There's a gora growing on the side of the road in a crack in the concrete in town, and it survived there and is thriving all summer long along the side of the road. So if it can survive there, I think a gora can survive here. And this pole, I've got some buddleias growing in the pots along the back door, and one of them will go in here, so that will be a buddleia there. This is new. I planted it yesterday, and it is a barberry, a purple barberry plant, and I think that will look quite striking. I also planted another barberry here, a powwow that's called, and it turns a bright crimson in autumn, so I'm already looking forward to that. I've got another bamboo stick here because I think I'll plant a rose there when I come across the right rose, again near the gate, so we can easily take advantage of the perfume as we walk by. It's my little hedge, my lavender hedge. I'm thinking of maybe transplanting these 3 lavender, that end, and taking these euphorbia out and putting them there, just to have maybe more of a lavender hedge. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll leave it and see what I think next season. Yeah, I keep changing my mind about everything. Absolutely beautiful day today. And here's this other Crassula. Planted it here, and I'll try and propagate by taking a cutting, because I want to fill up this whole bed with lots of succulents, and I also want this to be a succulent bed here, so I need lots and lots of succulents to fill both those beds. My two Nyphophia are putting up more flowers. So this one put up one flower, which is almost done. And see, there are some more flowers coming. And this one is also putting up flowers at this late stage. So very pleased about that. And the pomegranates are looking really good. So hopefully next season I can start turning them into a hedge. That's the plan. Also next spring my Echium should flower. The Hardenbergia needs more pruning. I was looking at last spring's footage and was reminded of how beautiful the Hardenbergia flowers look in spring. Well, actually the end of winter. So that's something to look forward to. I have more pomegranates here, and next weekend when I'm transplanting, I'll transplant another pomegranate here, so that come next season I might be able to get a nice hedge here too, and another one here. Same with this side. I want this kind of granite to be bordered by pomegranate hedge on either side. Not a lot of changes here. The miscanthus continues to be impressive, and I might take a little bit of it that's starting to propagate itself and put it over at those succulent beds. I think it might tolerate a non-irrigated bed. Well, this bed is non-irrigated. I just give it a hose if it's really hot. My desert hollyhock is doing well and has more flower buds. So I'm assuming they'll flower in autumn unless it saves the flower for spring. I have to get more muscari planted around here, I think. It does really well in a non-irrigated bed. The other thing I have to do is transplant some daffodil, and I think I will plant that. Got lots of bulbs, way too many bulbs in my centre island bed down there of daffodil. They need thinning out. So I'm going to dig them up over the next couple of weeks and put quite a few. I reckon they could do all right up here. That's another barberry, which is a pretty one. And here, this is my California tree poppy that I waited so long to find it. So it's doing okay. It's very new, and I really am going to look after it. Helga. So this is the Roseanne geranium. And I really do need to get rid of that blackberry. It's doing well. So is that salvia, my peony. That salvia is flowering really well. There's another barberry, which is also a powwow. I transplanted this, is it called Dragon's Heart, I think? Succulent. So that will fill out a bit more next season, I think. And the Autumn Joy sedums are doing really well here. There's one. And over there, and there's another one here. So this is their time of year to shine. And this smoke bush is flowering and looking very pretty. My other mother dragon heart, feel like it might need dividing. The smoke bush, they look so good with the sun shining through their leaves. This bulb I have, I meant to dig up before they started poking through the mulch. Too late, they're in full bloom and they create quite a joyful colour at this time of year. But I do want to dig up this whole front bit and fill it with compost and get those boulders out, so I might be able to transplant it after it finishes flowering. But this will be a winter job anyway, so this Gora is looking really good. This Sunday Phrase hydrangea didn't do too bad, and it has really darkened in colour. And hopefully it also establishes more next season and can tolerate those heat waves. This lavender, another lavender that needs cutting back. The chrysanthemum is starting to bud up. I'm hoping these two flower in autumn. No sign of buds yet. I've got two salvia that are budding up. I'm really pleased with how this bed is starting to look a little bit better. I've been planting more appropriate plants in there. Got some of the pink Sunday salvia in here, and I might transplant more from around the back. That agastache is very impressive. It's supposed to be a perennial agastache, so hopefully it will overwinter there and be even stronger next spring. I think I might have to pot up this geranium slash pelargonium. Doesn't really thrive there. The Mystic Spires is really impressive. This heuchera goes from suffering in this spot to absolutely thriving, and it currently has flowers on it. I transplanted this pink gora recently, and it's clearly really liking that spot. This geranium is doing really well now that I got rid of those caterpillars, and I like the contrast between the pink and the bluey grey of the Dusty Miller. I've got more anemone up there that are doing well. My boxwood hedge is something I'm really proud of. I must take more cuttings of these Mizzou succulents, which do really well here, especially now since autumn. Hopefully they will spread eventually. Just love a good hedge. So many views I enjoy in my garden now, whereas I remember when this used to be full of weeds and it didn't provide a sense of joy when you looked at it. whereas now it definitely does. I think this bed might need a little bit of rejigging too. I do like the oak leaf hydrangea, the snowball viburnum. My hostas at the back got a bit burnt, and I do like the snapdragons. I'm not so sure about these salvia, I might move them. There's a heuchera in there, so this is at the bottom of a pear tree, which has got way too tall, so we're going to prune that dramatically. It's dropping a lot of pears at the moment, but of course the pear tree provides shade for the oak leaf hydrangea and the hostas. The heuchera does well there, and where's the Virginia? Oh, there it is, hiding behind the pear bucket. So I think I need the heuchera and the Virginia to spread out a bit more. I did try growing a begonia twice, but they both completely disappeared. Yeah, but there's a Sunday phrase hydrangea there, which hopefully will do better next season as well. And this rose is also enjoying the autumn weather, and it's been getting a little bit of height, which is good. I do want it to get fairly tall. Nose height would be nice. But snapdragons just do so well, and they're so easy. I really like this bed. This ornamental grape, which is new, just continues to thrive there. I'm so glad I made the decision to get rid of the hops, and the lemon has really changed as a result. It looks so much healthier, and it's actually growing. The hops was such a thug in this bed. So the nasturtium are coming back with a vengeance, but the petunias are still there, and the angelonia are just producing so many flowers. The muscari have come back too. As usual, my Banksia rose needs trimming back into shape, and that is on today's job list. I'm still enjoying these two pots. I have got my tulips in the fridge ready to plant them in about 6 to 8 weeks, and they'll be going in here, and the buddleia will be going out into the garden. And next spring I think I'll plant 2 pink buddleia in here rather than the purple. This snapdragon I really like the colour of, and it started blooming again, so I wouldn't mind even propagating that and putting it around the place. I've got a lot of pink Sunday salvia popping up, which I need to transplant and give this candlelight a bit more nourishment, less competition from them. That candlelight didn't flower, but I think it will next season because I moved it and it prefers this spot. This candlelight opposite has flowered, and it was propagated from that candlelight. But it needs to establish a bit more there too. The gomphrena here looks really good. I've got a weed, maybe an oxalis or something, growing in amongst the chamomile, so I don't know if I poison that or what I do. It's a bit annoying. This Sunday Phrase hydrangea is getting pinker, and the Lisianthus is in full bloom. Another Sunday Phrase hydrangea, this one and this one, I transplanted. So they should do better next season, I think. Another comfrey that just keeps doing really well. Now this bed, my island bed, needs a bit of work too, I think. So once again, the snapdragons do really well there, but everything else suffers a little bit. I think I need to pull up the irrigation in this bed and just make sure there's enough of it, and maybe clean it out a little bit, because I don't think it's getting irrigated enough. I'd also like to try growing sweet peas all summer, because I've noticed my rogue sweet peas flower all summer, so maybe it's something that could be possible to do here. I tried to grow the moonflower and it just wasn't successful there, so maybe sweet peas is what I need to focus on. The Cafe au lait is doing well. It's fairly reliable. And this white buglia is doing well. I would like a hanging basket with the Silver Falls dichondra. So I'm thinking of putting a hook on this umbrella and letting it grow there. But I do need to cut it back a bit. It's absolutely gone berserk. And I have another natural canna, which I think I will also replace with a hybridized one for more dramatic flowering and leaf next season. And as I mentioned before, I'm definitely going to get rid of these Equinox here, I think. I did buy that little one, which was supposed to be a blue one, and it turned out to be another white one. So I want to plant drumstick allium or gladiator allium in this bed. Just got to get my hands on some. And our grape here is not ornamental. This is a red grape, and the grapes are very tasty. They do have seeds in them, but I also like the look of them, and the birds eat them, so we get to see the birds from the kitchen. Okay, the Snowball by Burnham, I'm hoping that will change into an interesting colour as autumn progresses. My camellia looks really good, needs a little bit more shaping again. This bed is doing okay. The oak leaf hydrangea likes it there. The Sunday Phrase hydrangea, it might have to be moved, but I'm going to give it another season at least. I think the clematis is going to be fine there, and it's put on a lot of growth since I bought it. This Hercules hydrangea, I'll give it another season as well and see if it can tolerate. Gets intense sun from about 1 until 5, so the real intense sun. But then it gets deep shade, so I don't know. I'll see. This rose is doing better since I have been more diligent with deadheading and watering. These pencil pine cypress are doing well, that one and that one. And this one is new, but it is about the same size as the others. They've grown a lot because I was looking at last spring's video and they were much smaller, not even half the size. So I'm really pleased with their growth over the summer. Hopefully the tuja recovers soon. I cut out a lot of the brown that the dog caused when he urinated on it. This Nandina is putting on some growth in autumn, as is this ivy. And my moonflower has definitely got buds on it, but still no blooms. And the frosts will be here. We're heading towards the end of March. We get frosts even in late April. So yeah, it's got maybe 4 to 6 weeks to get some blooms before the frost comes. So hopefully that happens. I do like the look of the leaf though. So yeah. Under the camellia, I have the Magical Evolution hydrangea and the white ball hydrangea, and they both really like this spot. So I'm hoping next season they'll do really well. And I'm tempted to put another hydrangea here as well. And my little square of lawn, the weed and feed I put on works very slowly, but you can see the plantain is dying and the patches of couch are getting stronger. So hopefully this will get there as a nice patch of lawn. And the maple is just starting to put on a little bit of a change of colour because autumn is here. So that is the Autumn Equinox 2026. Hopefully here I can put a shade garden, maybe more hydrangeas. One never knows.